The number one problem independent consultants have in running a sustainable business is their lack of leads. How do I know this? Because I've been serving independent consultants for 15 years, and that's what they tell me when I ask them what is their biggest challenge. Ask yourself, what is the biggest challenge that you face in your business? Chances are it's generating enough new leads in your business. I'm going to walk you through 3 ways to generate leads as an independent consultant. And not only that, I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of each so that you can decide for yourself which of the 3 might be right for you. You can obviously do more than one, but you do want to install at least one of these avenues to generate leads in your business. This will allow you to have enough opportunity to create sustainability and not be stressed out all the time that you don't have clients. So let's talk about the first way you can generate clients as an independent consultant. The first way is outreach. What is outreach? Outreach is when you reach out to people you think have a high likelihood of having the problem that you solve. So when you look at your clients, you're thinking, I serve clients in this specific region with this amount of employees who are dealing with specific regulations that are happening now, with decision makers with a very specific title. You're going to identify all those things, and you don't know if they have the problem, but based on your past clients, you have a certain set of criteria that indicates they might have a high likelihood of being someone that you could serve. And what you do, and the best way to do this is to start with LinkedIn. What you're doing essentially is you're mapping your criteria of your best clients to what individuals on LinkedIn are saying about themselves and their businesses. And when you can map those, you can reach out and send a connection request and then begin to build a relationship and bring them into your world to see if they need your help. That is outreach. Now, what are the pros of doing outreach? Well, number one, there's highly identifiable information online. So you would want to use this to your advantage. And that gives you the ability to have the most direct route to a one-to-one conversation with a prospective client. It's not A to C, it's A to B. You're going to go directly as possible to reach out to that person. And this can be a huge benefit to you. Also, this gives you the most direct control over your outcomes, particularly good for consultants who are trying to build high trust relationships. People are not going to hire just any consultant. And so having that one-to-one conversation can be a way of building trust very quickly. The cons of doing outreach are, number one, some people have mindset and skill set issues where they need to be trained. You need to get comfortable with what to say, how to find these people, how to follow up. And this does require a certain amount of dedication and tracking those conversations. In addition, it is personally very time intensive. So while you have the greatest level of control and the most direct route to those people, it is going to require a good amount of your time. Who is this good for? It is good for people who like people and who love getting into conversations with other people. If you enjoy having conversations online and off, this is a great option for you to generate leads. The second way to generate leads for your business is ads. Ads means that you strategically create an advertising message and visual. You're choosing a very targeted audience, and you are paying to put that advertisement in front of your targeted audience. The pros of this is that once you really define that audience and you get your advertisement sharp and those are really aligned, you can basically create a lead engine that runs without you. As we say, it'll create leads while you're sleeping. The other thing is that it's going to be able to generate volume and target people at scale. The cons are that there's a pretty good ramp up period. You don't just create an ad and turn it on. You do need to make sure that you have a very targeted audience. You have to be able to define that, and you have to have a message that really resonates with that audience. The other thing is that the leads that you get from ads are cold. They're cold. What does that mean? It means that they don't know you. And so when you create the advertisement and you're going to create some sort of action for them to take, they're just getting to know you. So you're going to need a full sales system to be able to nurture those leads that you've paid for until they're ready to hire you. Who are ads best for? Well, they're best if you have a proven message, a proven offer, and a defined audience. You will also need money. Now, as I said, with ads, once you create the ad, you're going to need them to take action. And typically that can mean signing up for a webinar or downloading a PDF. And that is an important piece of doing advertisements. And that is actually the third part of the sales system for independent consultants. So if you want to know how to use ads, you're going to need to know the full 4-part system for independent consultants. And you can find that 4-part system in a masterclass I created at connectandco.co/masterclass. Let's talk about the third way to generate leads, and that is other people's audiences, what I call OPA. What does that mean? Well, it means that you get in front of other people's audience. So for example, if someone has a business group and you go speak in front of that group, or someone has a podcast of people who are likely to have the problem that you solve, and you are a guest on that podcast, you're getting in front of someone else's audience. It could also be that you're writing an article for example, let's say Forbes. You're getting in front of an audience that someone else has created. The pros of OPA is if you have 1 to 3 key topics that really represent your frameworks, your problem solving as a consultant, you can essentially deliver on repeat to different podcasts, to various speaking engagements. And in the same way, you could even write an article on one of those topics. The pro here is that someone else is creating that audience, so you don't have to do that work. And someone else is marketing your speaking engagement or your podcast. The cons are that it does take time. You have to make sure that you're investing time in finding the right audience. It's not going to help you if you're a consultant for manufacturers to speak in front of a networking group of plumbers. You've got to identify that right audience. So you've got to spend time finding that audience. Then you've got to spend time reaching out to that person who's running that organization and give them an idea of why it would be of value for you to speak to their audience. And third, it's going to take time before you record that podcast episode or get that speaking engagement. And then you're going to have to wait even longer before that gets promoted. So keep in mind, it's a little bit of a long game. Now, who is this good for? This is great for somebody who loves to speak or loves to write, somebody who has thought leadership and really loves communicating their unique perspective and how they help their community and audiences. And a bonus here is that when you are speaking, whether people are hearing your voice or see you in person or see your writing in an established magazine, then you are going to be able to accelerate that trust building process because it's that human connection and that human interaction and credibility. Now, you might be wondering, wait, you just mentioned 3 ways of generating leads and you didn't mention social media. Here's why. Social media isn't truly lead gen. Social media is marketing. And this is why I suggest that you access my 4-part sales system for independent consultants, because it's going to help you differentiate between lead gen and marketing and why you need both. Social media will provide some lead generation, but the algorithm is completely out of your control. Therefore, if you think about how much posting have you done on LinkedIn and you haven't gotten any clients, this is why you're over relying on social media posts to get more clients. So let's say you need more leads. What do? You post and post and post, 12 times a day, and it's not going to get you the same amount of clients that it would if you had that high trust experience of speaking in front of somebody, or advertisement, which is basically paid visibility, or direct outreach. Therefore, social media is essential as part of your marketing and sales process, but it is not purely lead gen. You don't have control over whether a post that you put on social media is going to show up in someone else's feed. Therefore, you're going to be limited in its ability to get people into your world and have a high level of trust. That is the reason that social media is not one of the 3 ways to generate leads. If you're struggling to get leads, you might want to take a look at how much you're posting and how much you're doing any of those other things: ads, outreach, and OPA. If you aren't doing one of those 3 things, at least one, you're not getting in front of new eyeballs, because again, social media may or may not get your post in front of new eyeballs. Okay, in summary, there are 3 ways to generate leads. Number 1, outreach. What is this going to require? It's going to require your time, and it's going to require you to like people and enjoy having conversations with them. Now, since these people will eventually be your clients, I hope you enjoy speaking with them. Number 2, advertisements. This is going to require you to have money, and it's also going to require you to have a proven offer or service and a very specific audience for that to work. Number 3, OPA, other people's audiences. What is this going to require? It's going to require you to be really good at communicating your unique perspective, what is called thought leadership. This is going to work for you if you can codify 1 to 3 key ideas and deliver those on repeat, whether that's speaking or in writing. Now remember, lead gen is only one of the 4 steps in a sales system that independent consultants need to create predictable revenue. So if you want to know what the other 3 parts are, go to connectandco.co/masterclass, and that's going to tell you the 4 parts and why you need all 4. You've already got a head start on the 3 ways to generate leads. So check out that masterclass and you'll have the full picture that you need to generate clients and good clients and do that consistently.